Survival. It's a word that conjures images of rugged landscapes, wild forests, and the raw power of nature. But survival isn't just about braving the elements or facing down danger, it's about something deeper, a primal instinct that lives within each of us, waiting to be awakened when the world demands it. This instinct is ancient, hardwired into our DNA. Whether you're alone in the wilderness or with loved ones, that drive to keep going, to protect, to endure, is universal. But here's the truth. Instinct alone isn't enough. When disaster strikes, when the unexpected happens, it's not just your gut that will get you through. It's what you know, what you've practiced, and how you respond under pressure. That's why knowledge is your greatest asset. Skills are your true tools. You can have the most advanced gear, the latest gadgets, and a backpack full of supplies, but if you don't know how to use them, they're just dead weight. Survival is about preparation, not just possession. It's about learning, training, and building a plan long before you ever need it. Imagine fumbling with a fire starter in the cold, or staring at a high-tech gadget you've never used before. In those moments, the best equipment in the world is useless if you lack the know-how. That's why training trumps tools every time. But survival isn't just physical, it's mental. Training your mind is as important as packing your bag. Practicing mindfulness, staying organized, and rehearsing essential skills like knot tying or first aid can make all the difference. A calm, prepared mind can turn chaos into order, because when the pressure is on, panic is your worst enemy. Fear clouds judgment, wastes precious time, and leads to mistakes. The difference between life and death often comes down to your ability to stay calm and think clearly. In a crisis, clear thinking is your lifeline. Taking a deep breath, assessing your situation, and making a plan can keep you and those around you safe. It's not about being fearless, it's about managing your fear and using it to fuel smart decisions. That's where the rules of 3 and 7 come in. These aren't just numbers, they're guiding principles that help you prioritize your actions when everything feels overwhelming. The rule of 3 reminds you of your limits. 3 minutes without air, 3 hours without shelter in extreme conditions, 3 days without water, and 3 weeks without food. The rule of 7 helps you break down complex problems into manageable steps. These rules are more than survival trivia, they're lifelines. They give you structure when chaos reigns, helping you focus on what matters most and avoid wasting energy on the wrong things. So remember, when the world turns upside down, it's not the gear in your pack that will save you, it's the training in your mind and the calm in your heart. Prioritize, stay focused, and trust in the skills you've built. That's how you survive and thrive, no matter what comes your way. Imagine you're suddenly thrust into a life or death scenario. Maybe you're lost in the wilderness, caught in a natural disaster, or facing an unexpected emergency in the city. In these moments, every second counts. That's where the rule of 3s comes in. Think of it as your personal survival countdown, a mental clock that starts ticking the moment things go wrong. Understanding this rule can mean the difference between panic and clear-headed action, between survival and tragedy. The rule of 3s highlights the critical time frames your body can endure without the essentials: air, shelter, water, and food. It's a simple framework, but it's rooted in hard biological facts. When disaster strikes, knowing these limits helps you prioritize what to do first and what can wait. First, memorize this. You can survive only about 3 minutes without air. This is your most urgent priority. Whether you're trapped in a burning building, submerged underwater, or caught in a dust storm, your body's need for oxygen is immediate and unforgiving. Just a few minutes without air, and your brain and organs begin to shut down. That's why, in any emergency, your first instinct should be to secure a breathable environment. Smoke inhalation is a silent killer in fires. It can render you unconscious before you even realize what's happening. Always stay low to the ground where the air is clearer, and cover your mouth and nose if you have to move through smoke. If you're underwater, focus on reaching the surface as quickly and calmly as possible. Drowning can happen in the blink of an eye. Even strong swimmers can be overcome by panic or exhaustion. If you find yourself in water, try to stay calm, conserve your energy, and keep your airway above the surface. Remember, panic wastes precious oxygen. Next, think about shelter. You can survive about 3 hours without protection from the elements. Exposure to extreme cold, heat, wind, or rain can be brutal and life-threatening. In cold environments, hypothermia can set in quickly, especially if you're wet or exposed to wind. In hot climates, the risk shifts to heatstroke and dehydration. Hypothermia can creep up on you, sapping your strength and clouding your judgment. Even mild shivering is a warning sign. Always prioritize building or finding shelter, insulating yourself from the ground, and staying dry. A simple emergency blanket or even a pile of leaves can make a huge difference. On the flip side, heatstroke can be just as deadly. In hot environments, seek shade, avoid overexertion, and use any available water to cool your body. Your survival depends on keeping your core temperature in a safe range. Water is your next priority. You can survive about 3 days without it, but dehydration sets in much sooner. Your body needs water for every function: thinking, moving, even staying warm or cool. Without it, you'll quickly become weak, confused, and unable to make good decisions. Dehydration leads to weakness, disorientation, and eventually death. Look for water sources early and ration what you have. Avoid eating if you don't have water, as digestion uses up precious fluids. If you must move, do so during the cooler parts of the day to conserve sweat. Finally, food. You can survive up to 3 weeks without it, though you'll feel the effects much sooner. Your body will start to break down fat and muscle for energy, making you weaker and more vulnerable to injury and illness. In a survival situation, conserve your energy, avoid unnecessary movement, and focus on finding safe, edible food sources when you can. Starvation will sap your strength and make every other challenge harder. But remember, food is your last priority. Air, shelter, and water come first. By understanding the rule of threes, you can keep your survival clock in check, make smart decisions, and give yourself the best possible chance to make it out alive. Fire is a constant threat, whether you're in a high-rise building or a forest. Smoke inhalation is a bigger killer than flames. If you're caught in a fire, stay low to the ground. Cover your mouth and nose with a damp cloth to filter the air. Water, while essential for life, can also be deadly. Drowning is a real danger, even in shallow water. If you find yourself in a water emergency, stay calm. Try to float on your back and signal for help. Shelter is crucial for regulating your body temperature. In cold weather, you need to stay warm and dry to avoid hypothermia. Find a natural shelter like a cave or overhang. Build a makeshift shelter using branches, leaves, or even your emergency blanket. In hot weather, shade is your friend. Find a spot under a tree or create a sunshade using a tarp or cloth. Heat stroke is a serious threat, so stay hydrated and avoid strenuous activity during the hottest parts of the day. Finding clean water is essential for survival. In the wilderness, look for running water sources like streams or rivers. You can collect rainwater using a tarp or even large leaves. Always purify water before drinking by boiling, using water purification tablets, or a filter. In urban settings, your options might be limited. Check for water sources like toilets, the tank, not the bowl, water heaters, or even pipes. Remember, any water you find should be purified before drinking. While you can survive for weeks without food, it's important to conserve energy. Ration any food you have carefully. Look for edible plants in the wild, but be 100% certain of their identification before eating. Trapping small animals might be an option, but it requires skills and knowledge. In an urban environment, scavenging for food can be risky. Focus on finding safe water sources and shelter first. Check for any stored food supplies in your surroundings. The rule of sevens is a powerful companion to the more well-known rule of threes. While the rule of threes helps you prioritize your needs, air, shelter, water, and food, the rule of sevens is all about timing, action, and adaptability. It's a mental framework that guides you through the critical moments after a crisis strikes, helping you make the right moves when every second counts. Survival isn't just about what you do, but how quickly and effectively you do it. The rule of sevens gives you a clear timeline for action so you don't freeze up or waste precious time. At its core, the rule of sevens focuses on taking decisive action and adapting to whatever situation you find yourself in. Whether you're lost in the wilderness, facing a natural disaster, or caught in an urban emergency, your ability to act quickly and adjust your plan can mean the difference between life and death. Adaptation is the key to survival, and the rule of sevens helps you stay ahead of danger by breaking down your response into manageable steps. Here's how it works. You have 7 seconds to make your first decision. In those first few moments, your mind races. Should you run, hide, or stay put? Should you call for help or move to a safer location? These are split-second choices, and hesitation can be deadly. The rule of sevens reminds you that you don't have the luxury of overthinking. Trust your instincts, rely on your training, and make a choice. Even a less-than-perfect decision is better than freezing in place. In a crisis, hesitation can be deadly. The difference between reacting immediately and waiting just a few seconds too long can change everything. Your body's natural fight-or-flight response kicks in, but it's up to you to channel that adrenaline into action. Remember, you have just seconds to assess the situation and make a decision. Trust your instincts, and don't let fear paralyze you. Once you've made your initial decision, you have about 7 minutes to find safety. This is your window to escape immediate danger, whether that means getting out of a burning building, moving away from a collapsing structure, or finding cover during an active threat. Use this time wisely. Scan your environment, look for exits, and move quickly but carefully. Don't waste time gathering belongings or second-guessing yourself. Your priority is to get to a safe location as fast as possible. 7 minutes to find safety. This is your chance to put distance between yourself and the hazard. Every second counts, so act with purpose. Once you've assessed the situation, take immediate action to get to safety. Don't wait for someone else to tell you what to do. Trust your judgment and move. This might mean evacuating a building, seeking higher ground during a flood, or finding cover from flying debris. The key is to act quickly and decisively. If you're with others, communicate clearly and help those who need assistance, but don't let indecision slow you down. Your safety comes first. After you've escaped immediate danger, the next phase is to secure shelter within 7 hours. This is especially important if you're outdoors or in an unstable environment. Exposure to the elements, cold, heat, rain, or wind, can quickly become life-threatening. Use whatever resources you have to create a barrier between yourself and the environment. This could mean building a makeshift shelter from branches and leaves, setting up a tent, or finding an abandoned structure to take refuge in. After addressing immediate dangers, focus on finding or building a more secure shelter. Take stock of your surroundings and use your creativity. Even a simple tarp or a pile of debris can provide crucial protection. If you're with a group, work together to build something sturdy. A good shelter will keep you dry, warm, and hidden from potential threats. This will provide protection from the elements and potential threats, giving you a safe space to regroup and plan your next steps. Don't underestimate the importance of shelter. It can buy you time and keep your morale up while you figure out your long-term plan. The next milestone is 7 days for stability. The first week after a disaster is often the most challenging. Resources may be scarce, help might not arrive right away, and you'll need to rely on your own skills and resourcefulness. Use this time to secure your basic needs: water, food, shelter, and security. Start rationing your supplies, purify water, and set up a system for collecting more if needed. Focus on gathering resources and organizing your essentials. Make sure you have enough clean water and food to last, and keep your shelter in good repair. If you're with others, assign roles and responsibilities to keep everyone busy and focused. Water, food, shelter, and security, these are your top priorities. Check your supplies regularly and look for ways to supplement them. Forage for edible plants, set traps for small game, or collect rainwater if possible. Always be on the lookout for new resources and opportunities to improve your situation. Establish a routine and start thinking about long-term survival. Create a daily schedule for tasks like gathering firewood, checking traps, and maintaining your shelter. Write down a plan or checklist to keep yourself organized and motivated. The more structure you have, the easier it will be to stay calm and focused. Remember, survival is a marathon, not a sprint. By following the rule of sevens, you'll be better prepared to adapt, take action, and overcome whatever challenges come your way. The rules of 3 and 7 apply to any survival situation, but the specific challenges you face will vary depending on your environment. In an urban disaster, you might face collapsed buildings, civil unrest, or limited access to resources. Knowing how to navigate urban environments, find safe routes, and secure resources is crucial. In a wilderness scenario, you're dealing with the raw power of nature. Navigation, shelter building, fire starting, and first aid become paramount. Understanding the local flora and fauna is essential for finding food and avoiding danger. Survival isn't about luck, it's about preparation. It's about having the knowledge and skills to face the unknown. Pack a survival kit with essential gear: a knife, fire starter, first aid kit, shelter material, water purification tablets, and a compass. But remember, your most valuable tools are between your ears. Stay calm, assess the situation, remember your training, and never give up. Survival is a testament to the human spirit's resilience. By embracing knowledge, honing your skills, and facing challenges head-on, you can overcome any obstacle and emerge stronger on the other side.